So New Zealand have dismissed Sri Lanka for just 171 runs. On most days, you tend to compliment the fielding team for having done something as good as this and set themselves up for an easy win. However, today there will be questions asked of the team that has dismissed the opposition for 171. That's because at 16 overs, that's just about less than one third of a game that was played, or less than one third of the innings that was played. New Zealand had dismissed more than 50% of Sri Lanka's players. 6 wickets had fallen by that time. In 16 overs, 6 wickets had fallen. And your last 4 batters have batted 30 overs. More than 30 in fact. More than 30 overs by the last 4 batters, that is the tail. And the question now is whether that will come back to haunt the New Zealand team. They've already been unlucky once in the tournament with the rain. That was a game versus Pakistan. Yes, you could say that Pakistan got off to a great start, but getting 200 in 20-25 overs is one thing. Getting 400 in 50 overs is a completely different thing. So had that game got the full distance, you never know what would have happened. So they were kind of unlucky on that game. And because rain is predicted in Bangalore at around 6 p.m. If that was to happen and if there is no game, then New Zealand only have themselves to blame, because if they got 6 wickets for 16, maybe another 10 over, worst case scenario, 26 overs is all that you should have allowed Sri Lanka to bat, which would have meant that you were chasing 150 odd, which means clearly you would have about almost by now, if not 20, you would have been around the 15 over mark now, which would have meant that you just needed another 5 overs more to finish the game, and you would have got the 5 overs because rain is expected around 6:30. It's only 5:30 right now.
But you got a 40-minute break.
Now a 40-minute break. So before we go further and dissect the match, what I want to know is, let's focus on the weather update. So Shivam, tell us, what do the weather gods have in store for us? Weather expert can take it from here.
Okay.
Because you can read it better than most of them.
Yep. So there is a spell of rain expected at around 6 p.m. Okay.
That means just when New Zealand batters are going to be coming out to bat, there will be rain.
Yes.
Exactly at that time.
If I've asked people in Bengaluru that in the past 4 to 5 days you have been getting rain around the 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. time. You have been getting rain.
Every day?
Yes. 7 p.m. for sure there has been rain. Even yesterday there was rain at 7 p.m. But they did point out one important thing. If it's 66% say, it is not necessary that it will rain around that area. That area, the Chinnaswamy Stadium, has been relatively dry. The other parts of Bengaluru have been receiving rain continuously. It's in a strange rain shadow area, I'm telling you, Bengaluru. In the night, it's been pouring. 11 o'clock onwards, there has been rain. So that's why 7 to 10, the percentage of rain is pretty little. But looking at how the weather prediction has been today, it's vintage fickle Bengaluru. You are predicting rain from 2 there was a yellow alert issued today by the IMD. Yellow alert for Bengaluru. There's been only one yellow, and that has been the sun.
Okay, so just very important point that Siddharth makes. One, last few days it's been raining around this time. It's also expected to rain today, but it's a 66% chance. And just to let you guys know, because we've done a bit of our weather study in the last 2 months, especially from Asia Cup onwards, we've kind of mastered studying the weather. So what that weather 66% means, it's not 66% chance of rain. It means 66% of land area in Bangalore will receive rain at around 6 p.m. That's what it means. But as Siddharth points out, that where the Chinnaswamy Stadium is, that is kind of a rain shadow area, which means that the remaining 34% that you have, which is going to be a dry area, is including the area around Chinnaswamy. So that's one bit of good news, that you may not get rain at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. That's one. Secondly, assuming that that prediction is wrong and Siddharth's sources are inaccurate, and that is not the rain shadow area, and assuming that falls in the 66% of the landmass where rain is going to fall, even then the forecast says that it's going to rain for an hour till about 7, and because the Bangalore drainage is amazing, and you can clear that out. And hopefully, let's say by 7:38, you might have the game resume. And from there on, till about 11, it's expected to be dry, which is another good thing. So supposing the game doesn't start at 6 and it rains, and it only starts at 8, then you can get 3 hours of play, which is more than enough to finish at 20, minimum 20 over, which means you will get results. To sum it up, whichever way you look at it, right now, the chances of Kudrat ka Nizam are very, very minute.
But isn't there a cutoff time for this game to start?
See, there is. See, in the previous match, New Zealand versus Pakistan, since it was a day game, the cutoff time was 7:40. But here, since it's a day-nighter, with a 1 hour grace period, you'll start losing overs. Say if it rains now, you'll start potentially losing overs from 7:30 onwards. Then every 4 minutes an over will hit because one innings has already
Yeah, so it effectively means that
for a
even if
20
you
over
can
game,
start
9:15.
9:30 or so if you can start, and if the rain is going to stop at 7, then there's not too much of an issue. As I said, most things what we're looking at are pointing towards you're getting a game today, which isn't great news for Pakistan.
You also saw in the New Zealand-Pakistan game, there was already a fair build-up. It was dark by about 5 o'clock. It was extremely dark. And then the rain came. But here you don't see that darkness. What is happening now is the sunset. It's evening time in Bengaluru.
No, they just showed live pictures and I saw that. It's completely clear skies as of now, as of 5:30 p.m.
So
you don't know what happens.
That is why. So you're not having that kind of a rain build-up. With Bangalore, what you see is there is a massive build-up. It becomes dark and then it pours. You're not seeing that at this moment. There is fair bit of cloud, but it is not threatening cloud as per se. So I think you may start the game. I think if New Zealand adopt a bang approach. But remember, initially I thought when the innings had started, I thought Sri Lanka were playing for the weather, not New Zealand, looking at the way how they were approaching the batting.
But how is Sri Lanka to gain from playing for the weather? That means you're saying that if they get that 1 point, does that then help Sri Lanka to finish in the top 8 and then qualify for the Champions Trophy? Which is why, so people are thinking that what is Sri Lanka to gain? If not a win, what are they to gain from that 1 point? Of course, if you're there, you would want to win the game and that's what you play for. But if he's saying that if you're playing for weather, that means somewhere back of the mind, they are trying to get that 1 point, not to in any way do a favor to Pakistan, but more so looking at themselves, because that 1 point might help them finish in the top 8, which will help them qualify for Champions Trophy.
Because if it's a 20 over game, you might necessarily not be chasing 148 because they had a very fast start.
No, but I don't think they look at the start. You only see the end. Had the game stopped at then, so then now you will see a total of 100 and whatever.
For 172, I think you need to win.
Yeah, they need 172 to win.
Yeah, so they look at that 172 as a total score. It doesn't matter how they started or whatever. That comparison doesn't happen. So 172, they will look down at DLS and then come up with a target for 20 overs. Which I don't think will be something that will bother the Kiwi team, especially with the depth that they have in batting, and considering you're playing in Bengaluru, the Chinnaswamy Stadium. You can get lots of runs, just as Sanat Jayasuriya showed us at the start. It was Sanat Jayasuriya for a change.
The Dawn. Mathurage Dawn.
All shots were like that. Just when you thought that he'll get you some runs, wasn't to be.
Yeah, good. I mean, for once, Kusal Perera showed that he can be a worthy successor to Jayasuriya, but yeah, it's come 8 matches too late, 4 years too late.
With Kusal Perera, that's always been the case. He's a bit like Fakhar Zaman in that sense. You're waiting, but with Fakhar, he's probably given you more
much more
consistent.
impactful knocks.
Yeah.
Then
And also he's much more impactful than Perera.
He's had more impactful knocks.
Kusal Perera has been around the Sri Lankan circuit for close to a decade.
Exactly.
And yet, he's not been able to cement his place in the side. That speaks a lot, considering that Sri Lanka had to go back to Dimuth Karunaratne, a guy who is as old school as you can get. Where are they now? Today you lost Nisanka cheaply. That was a big blow because he's being your more aggressive player at this point. Of course, Mendes, after getting the captaincy, gone. Sadira Samaravikrama, big wicket, but he was very consistent there as well. Asalanka, Mathews, finally he was on time today, Angelo Mathews.
Did you see
I saw Kane
Williamson came to Angelo Mathews and said, check your strap, I hope it's fine.
I know.
He was having a bit of fun.
Yes. agree. That's what nice guys, they will always have this kind of banter, which is good.
No, they said in commentary. They said that today, I think AajTak was in commentary and I was watching it when Matthew came in. He said that today, firstly he's on time, but he said he doesn't even need to worry because they're up against the nice guys in the Kiwis. So even if he was to be late, they're not going to be appealing for him to be timed out.
Exactly.
There.
Yeah.
There he came and asked him,
Yeah.
your helmet all right?
And see, Matthew is also very clever. He came from the dressing room whilst wearing his helmet. Didn't choose to take the liberty of wearing it outside on the pitch.
I know. I mean, that was a schoolboy error from Angelo. I mean, I never expected that from him.
No, it wasn't an error. How did he was to know that it'll break?
Exactly.
Wear it and come from the dressing room.
No, but a lot of players come and
99% of
he,
them don't.
he was wearing it only. He was just tightening it.
Ah.
See, it broke at the most
But
inopportune time.
that's not an error.
That's not
a
his fault.
malfunction.
Exactly.
He should have asked the umpire. That's what Chris Wokes did yesterday.
But it's okay.
But we talked about this during the pre-match also.
Semantics.
That exact, and that is that is an unsaid rule protocol also. Okay, as per protocol, yes, what I mentioned in the pre-show also, that as per protocol, yes, he should have asked the umpire also. But that is something that nobody does. Again, that Bairstow thing, we'll again compare that. So
I know. See, Sri Lanka are behaving like England. Morally, they won the match. Morally, they won everything England in that period. So that's why, see, morally, England, Sri Lanka have won that game. Mathews is our supreme god. That's what I will say. Morally, they are on top.
No, but nobody wins a game morally. They lost that game, so be it. But I'm just saying the fact that that could have been avoided.
It could have been.
I agree with Shakib's statement where he says, I'm at war, I want to win, sure. But then make an exception for when that is broken. If he's not followed the rule and he came later than 2 minutes, let's say he was relaxing, stretching, walking slowly,
exactly.
trying to be a cool cat, then fine, punish him.
But we were having that discussion off camera where people tend to do things for reactions. Shakib is totally that.
Yeah.
He doesn't care that he set the world on fire.
But you know what I love? It was quite slimy of him when Angelo went to hi, do ask him.
No, not just ask him. He taps him on the side. Sly fellow. He tapped him on the side.
He could have been a Ricky Ponting kind of captain if he was so stern. No, I'm not taking him. No, like stand up. He's not like that. On the face, he's been like all sweet. No. I don't know. Ask the umpire. They must have. No. He's doing all that. Muska.
He was very, very clever.
Very clever.
Very clever.
Then be a Khadu's captain, saying sorry boss, no, you're late. A lot of other captains who play very hard would have done that. Here, he's trying to,
soften the blow.
goody both sides.
political.
Appealing also and then being very soft in front of Angelo.
Like to give you a contrast, when Butler was run out of the non-strikers and by Ashwin gave him absolute earfuls while sending him away.
Yeah.
And he said,
is fine.
He said,
no double standard.
So he's like, but the thing with considering what Shakib's reputation is, it's good he took the sweet route.
I thought Ashwin was mild to Butler.
No, he wasn't. There was a lot of.
The guy who gave an earful when he ran him out. Kapil Dev to Peter Custon.
No, but in Kapil Dev's case, he warned him multiple times. And if I'm not mistaken, did he call him back later?
No,
he didn't call him back.
3 times I called him.
Yeah, I remember him saying I've warned him many times that he's going out of the crease.
That was an earful, and he was livid, Kapil.
Yeah.
So that's why. If you look at that Ashwin situation, I thought, okay, he was fair in his own way.
Yeah, but also then, because I think Butler got very argumentative, so Ashwin gave it back. Like in this case, Shakib was just like,
Go.
मैंने तो कुछ नहीं किया. मैंने कुछ. It's only the umpires.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that this is a what do you call dismissal that can't be impacted in any way, the captain appealing. Very clever.
मैंने कुछ नहीं किया.
Very
It was
clever.
like that sort of
I know.
approach from
Exactly.
our man Shakib. So what happened with Sri Lanka's batting suddenly woke up. Mahesh Theekshana, out of all the people, 91 deliveries ended up facing, and you got Madhushanka and New Zealand only have themselves to bear. Should have wiped off that tail, but I mean we spoke about the 4 batters that batted 30 overs, but even that last wicket partnership per se, that was from 32 to 46 overs, so they batted 13 overs.
And 43 runs they put
The
on.
last 2 pairs batted 23 overs. Which is half the innings. Last 2 pairs. If you look at even Dushmantha Chamira, he hung in along with Theekshana.
Yeah, for quite a while.
Theekshana has been a much better bat
In
10
recent.
with the ball in this World Cup. And that is Sri Lanka's campaign in a nutshell. Who you expected to bat failed, who you expected to bowl failed.
And they then ended up
It's
reversing.
interchanging of rules. So that's why, and look at fittingly Bengaluru, the same venue where they bowled England out for 156. The bowlers stepped up today, the batters again failed. Batting has been Sri Lanka's biggest Achilles heel in this World Cup. Barring that on a road that they hit 344 in Hyderabad, when their bowlers let them down big time.
That day.
Had the bowlers stepped up, they would have not been fighting for Champions Trophy qualification, they would have been in semi-final reckoning. But
I think semi-final reckoning is a bit far.
no, had they won that game,
Yeah.
because they are on 4 points, they would have been on 6.
Yeah.
Mathematically, when Netherlands were.
That way sure.
So today, if New Zealand win, then your semi-final slot is
Four
all but
all-
sealed.
No more Gujarat.
No more Qudrat ka Nizam, because Afghanistan have to beat South Africa by 273.
That is just to get at par with Pakistan's net run rate, not even New Zealand's.
Yes, they have to only hope New Zealand lose, Pakistan lose. That's
So how much do they need to get par with New Zealand's net run rate?
If it is 275 with Pakistan, it would be much more.
close.
300
The
plus.
world
300
record
plus, yeah.
victory margin.
So for Afghanistan to qualify, assuming Pakistan lose and New Zealand win,
Yeah.
so tie them with points and go past their net run rate, they would have to win by a margin of 300 odd runs. If New Zealand win by on the 47th over, 48th, right at the death.
Yeah.
If New Zealand win in some 20-22 overs, let's say the full game is happening, then it will be about 450 runs or something.
No, even if they if New Zealand wins by just a run or something, and Pakistan needed 135 to be at par.
That's what I'm
with
saying.
them.
Na? Then
Yeah.
300.
300.
Much more.
For
than
Afghanistan, 300 odd if they win by 1 run.
Yeah.
If they win in they can't win by 1 run because they are chasing. So if they take the game down to the wire, which is around 47, 48, 49 overs, whatever, then Pakistan need 130 and Afghanistan need 300. But if they win it in 20-22 overs, then probably Afghanistan would need to win by 450, 500 runs. And Pakistan may need to win by 250 runs. So effectively, if New Zealand win today, it's game over. It's done. You know you're semi-finalist. For all practical purposes, you can keep the mathematical logic going, but for all practical purposes done, still clear blue skies in Bangalore.
I mean, mathematical logic works if it's 200, 250. If you need a 400 run victory, forget about it.
I mean, it's rarely happened in tests.
Not even 200 run victory.
Exactly.
That too against England.
And that too, Afghanistan beating South
Africa.
No, I'm not talking about Afghanistan. More so about Pakistan. Afghanistan, though, next to impossible.
Pakistan, yeah, I mean, England, would they want to surrender that abjectly?
The only chance for
They won't.
Afghanistan I feel now is that if there is an outside chance that New Zealand lose today somehow, then Pakistan lose somehow.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they put in South Africa to chase, they put in runs on the board versus South Africa and then try to put them under pressure.
Not happening. If New Zealand win, Afghanistan's chances are
Yeah,
down.
definitely.
They can't overall minus 0.338 to plus 0.4.
And don't forget, they have to get to 0.401 types.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does anyone think that New Zealand can lose from here? If weather permits you to have a game, whether it's a full game or a 20 over game?
No, not a chance. Not a chance. If weather doesn't play spoil sport, then Sri Lanka are done. They're done for.
They're done for.
Not only Sri Lanka, 2 other teams.
Then even Pakistan and Afghanistan can kiss their chances goodbye.
Yeah. But yes, I hope it's not like that Champions Trophy match of 2013, where similar low score of 134, New Zealand won by 1 wicket. At that time, the bowling of Sri Lanka was much better. Malinga was bowling well, but still, this Sri Lankan bowling lineup, Madhushanka might give you 1 or 2 wickets, but
Beyond Madhushanka, no one in that lineup inspires any confidence from me. No one.
Shamira is okay. Tikshana, I don't know how he is after getting hit on the arm by a Ferguson 89.5 mile thunderbolt. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, New Zealand do look the favourites. I mean, I don't see their batting collapse that badly like they did against South Africa. I don't see it. So
See, South Africa also, you have to remember, have a very good bowling lineup. Something that Sri Lanka just does not boast at this point.
yeah,
Can we take some questions, please? I think Shivam.
Need some coffee too.
yeah,
He doesn't
They
have
wrapped
coffee.
up England and Bengaluru, right?
yeah. 156.
156.
And they chased it
They,
down
at that time, they had
25.
Leheru Kumara also.
They didn't have Lahiru Kumara. Yes,
That
that's a
time.
big miss for them. Okay, yeah. A. Rian is saying, I'm loving Twitter war between Vaughan and Hafiz.
Oh, what
Yes,
is the
there
one?
is a
So
Twitter war.
Hafiz, in praising Ben Stokes' 100, said that this is the definition of a team knock on Twitter, as opposed to selfish runs. We can guess who he's referring to over there.
Yeah, Virat.
Ah.
Because he's already, I saw that he said something during one of his shows. So I'm guessing it's.
And then Michael Vaughan replied back saying, "Why are you so incensed at Virat all the time? It's because you got your wicket." So then he posted that one video from 2012 World Cup where Virat actually had clean bowled Hafiz.
But that I would say now I've seen it all. From Michael Vaughan from being a troll, to now become an India fan.
But then he's trolling Pakistan, so he's trolling someone or the other. He's like that,
Yeah. Indeed.
It's just that people he's trolling is.
The target is different. That's it.
He's
No wonder he's best friends with Piers Morgan. It all makes sense now.
Now it makes sense.
Now it makes sense indeed. Yes.
Okay, let's take Piyush Nandre is saying Hasaranga is being missed, but that's throughout the World Cup. Yeah, that is something that we've seen throughout the World Cup. But a lot of teams have missed a lot of players, still found ways to do well. And I guess that can't be any excuse. Harish Kaushik wants to know, do you think Sri Lanka gave up too early in the power play, losing 5 wickets in the power play? You know what I did? They didn't give up. I think it was some good bowling, that extra bounce that Bolt was also getting. They lost. But I did see at a point that once the wicket was falling, I would have thought that you suddenly change your approach and then get into the dogged approach where you are just going to, bide your time, play some gritty sort of knock was needed. Instead, I saw wickets are falling and Sri Lanka is playing counter-attacking cricket. And let me just attack and get out of it. That I thought was a bit bizarre because see where they've ended up. Had they reserved some wickets at that start and not being that attacking, they could have gone past about, they've got 170, 240, 250. If they became conservative then. They lost quick 3 wickets or so and they said, oh, now we're, bit of bother, let's just go attacking. I thought Kusal Perera for once, right? He got a good start and gone past 50. There was no need for that kind of a shot. What he could have done is that, listen, now I've gotten some runs on the board. Now it's my job to change my approach and then bat through the inning much longer. They could have got a decent total. They didn't do that. So, yeah, that's what it is.
Exactly. So Samadhan Thorve is like saying, as I remember, umpire called back Sachin once against Australia by changing his decision and Dan Ponting was not quite happy with that. 2006 Kuala Lumpur, that tri-series. Australia, West Indies, Mitchell Johnson 4 wickets so that got rained out.
And I remember
McGrath,
Sachin had a verbal. And for once I saw Sachin very animated say a few things to McGrath.
That was also in 2000, that Champions Trophy, right? Where he was absolutely going ballistic at McGrath.
Yeah, but in this case, I remember McGrath said a few things to him, and then there was one thing. He next ball danced down the wicket, hammered in this Kuala Lumpur series, and then the camera caught him close up, and you could see him say, "I was like, this is a change, Sachin." Giving it back.
Yeah, because he would normally give it back with the bat.
Yeah,
mostly.
Only twice I have seen him in this way, both against Australia in 2000 Kenya and 2006.
But can I tell you that is if you watch cricket in those days, the McGrath-Sachin battle was something to really. People keep talking about Vaughan-Sachin, but it was not half as exciting as McGrath-Sachin because both got better of each other on different occasions. Yes. So it was a fun, equal 50-50 battle. One sharp bowler, and the other are the greatest batters. So it was a brilliant one-on-one battle. I would look forward to that.
Alan Donald versus Tendulkar.
Yes, but that was brief. For McGrath, Tendulkar carried on for very long. Yeah, so it was brilliant. That contest was brilliant.
Started from Sharjah, ended in Kuala Lumpur.
As a Vaughan and Sachin, I think it was very one-sided.
Exactly.
Vaughan actually was afraid of Tendulkar to the point where he admitted that I had nightmares of him charging down the ground and hitting me for sixes. I don't think that really was much of a rivalry.
Yeah, McGrath-Sachin was.
Leg spin never troubled Tendulkar.
I think
only off spin troubled.
I don't know who it was who said. I think it was Stuart McGill who said that the scary parts about not just Sachin but also Lakshman and Dravid when it came to them playing against spin, saying it didn't matter if they could read your variations or didn't read your variations. What was scary was they didn't care what you were bowling. They'd still smack you.
But the only bowler against whom all of them were worried, a spinner, was Murli.
Murli.
Because that was that one bowler they could not read either of the hand or of the pitch, and they had no idea, and they would try to figure out various ways to figure him out. So the only spinner, and I know that series even Mendes troubled them a lot.
But it was Murli who...
Yeah, but Murli through the career, there was the one bowler where Indians really struggled, just could not read him at all.
Only 2 players played Murli exceptionally well.
Brian Charles Lara.
Brian Lara.
And Inzamam.
Inzi also.
Inzi.
Inzi very underrated in terms of, in fact, how Inzi played fast bowlers also, not hurried at all, just look like, sometimes would you see Rohit like lazy, same with Inzi, just never was hurried.
Although I don't know why he struggled against Vaughan. Inzi struggled against Vaughan. I don't know why. For a player of that technique and for that class, he struggled against Vaughan. But he never struggled against Murli. Lara though never was troubled by anybody.
Spinners though he
Ate for
He
breakfast.
would murder them. That's why.
because he was he had a lot of clarity in terms of whether he's playing them back or front, whether he's going to the pitch of the ball or playing them back, and he was so clear. I've never seen anyone as clear playing spinners like Lara. Just in his mind knew, probably read the length very early. That's why I knew exactly what to do. Brilliant.
2001, 600 plus runs against Murli on those Sri Lankan decks. Although West Indies lost 3-0, but Lara 178, 221, 140, man oh man. The Prince was...
Final question, the innings starting. Satish B, Meg Lanning, Siddharth, please.
Yeah, I mean, Meg Lanning bought curtains on her 13-year career.
It was a shock one.
It was.
Could have carried on another good 5-6 years.
Comfortably.
I mean, you want to talk about dominance. Meg Lanning, 5 T20 World Cups, 2 ODI World Cups.
7 total.
And you're talking about Ponting 21 match winning streak. What about 26 match winning streak from Meg Lanning? That is genius, and that is why, because of Meg Lanning's leadership, the Southern Stars are the greatest sporting entity that we have in modern day sports. The Southern Stars, the Australian women's cricket team, they are the greatest in any way. So thank you to Meg Lanning. Shocking, but you'll at least see her in the WPL, in the BBL. She's going to come. So it was fun. The greatest white ball batter ever.
But also someone who went out on top, very rare. Again, as we were saying, 31, you can easily play 5-6 years, but she's like, no, I've accomplished everything I've had to. 7 World Cups, also I think the Commonwealth Games.
gold.
So all of these things.
What's it with the Australian women sports person? I know Ellis Perry also in the middle wanted to leave, almost left, then came back. Then the tennis player
Ashley Barty.
Ashley Barty just left, at 24, 25 something. Just
In fact, Ellis Perry has played FIFA Women's
I
World
know,
Cup
I
and...
know.
Even Ash Barty, she played cricket.
I know Ash Barty has
played
played cricket here. Every single time she would win
Brisbane
something,
Heat.
that story would come back.
Yeah, Brisbane Heat, she was part of. So, yeah, I mean, double internationals, and I think the amount of, Australia women's sport, if you look at it, they're on the same footing as the men. Same professional facilities, almost the pay scale is...
Pay scale is more or less not that tinted
not
as
that,
it is. Yeah.
So that's why they are the best in the business, and Meg Lanning got about that revolution.
I mean, good luck to whoever has to replace her.
There's an assembly line of greats.
Even then.
Yeah.
Even then.
Yep.
Okay, innings has started. We'll see. 5, 7, 8 minutes from here. Does it rain or not? But as we pointed out earlier, gave you a detailed explanation on the weather. Check out our video at the start. It does seem like that rain will kind of stay away, and you're going to get a game today. Even if there is some sort of a disturbance, you should still get an official game.
Yeah.
And New Zealand then are quite favourite to win. So the chances of Kudrat ka Nizam, coming into play, highly unlikely.
Unless
But
Sri Lanka pull off a miracle.
yes, but we will be live if there is a rain break indeed. Come and give you all the latest update. For the moment, bye-bye from all of us. See you at the end of the game. Plenty to talk about.
Yep.
If New Zealand win, what does that mean for Pakistan?
Yes.
Bye.
Nandri.
Vanakkam.